The Lunaverse, Episode 9, Chapter 3, Dinky's Birthday, by Rainbow Double Dash, Talon Thorn. It's growing pains. After the cake and the other food came to dancing. The floor was cleared and vinyl scratch began to play music by various ponies that Ditsy had never heard of. At first, the Colts of Philly seemed to be almost magnetically attracted to the opposite sides of the dance floor, apparently unwilling to enter into no ponyland between them. Until finally the birthday filly managed to cross the divide and dance with Pip. Everybody, aww! Slowly the segregation broke down and the two groups began to intermingle, bouncing around on the dance floor. This, and 3 helpings of cake, turned out to be too much for a truffle shuffle, and he had to rush from the room, returning a little later with his normally gray coat looking a little green. He had to sit quietly with his father for a bit, while his stomach calmed down. Still, most of the foals seemed to be enjoying themselves. Duh! Moaned Raindrops from next to Ditsy, resting her head on her hose. Most of the element bearers were sitting around the remains of the cake, chatting with each other while the foals hopping around. They make such a cute couple! She nodded towards Dinky, who was thus helping Pip to his hose after the colt had been too enthusiastic with dancing. Dinky gave her companion a glare. She knew her daughter was friends with Spotted Colt, but they were still just foals. It wasn't like they were going to get married tomorrow or anything. In a few years, yes. At first, Tracy and now Raindrops. Every pony was being ridiculous about this. Raindrops, you're far too young to be thinking of each other like that. I don't know, said Shirley. You know, Sweet Bill had that crush on me for a bit, and some of my other students acted a little strangely around each other. Oh, it doesn't mean much, but it is cute. Besides, I think I was about Dinky's age when I had my first kiss. You know, I was even at my cutesy era party. She nodded over at Big Mac, who was leaning against the opposite wall, watching his sister. Of course, afterwards, we both ran away giggling. She smiled at the recollection. Ditsy's eyes crossed even more than normal. She couldn't imagine a large red stallion giggling. She tried to stop imagining her daughter kissing a colt as well. This is the age that foals start to bond in that way, you know, continued cheerily, starting to lecture. Most of the relationships don't last, but they start getting crushes, and it'll only be a few more years before it gets to be a little more. I'm not looking forward to having to teach them about that sort of thing. It did so good well when I tried it with Trixie. Ditsy's ears drooped. The teacher was right. Her daughter was going to start nosing colts or fillies soon enough, and every pony knew that would lead to... Are you alright? Asked Ditsy, as her daughter staggered to her house. She started Dinky before tears started to stream down her face. She ran forwards and buried her face into her mother's mane. Ditsy wrapped her wings around her daughter as best as she could. As an adult, Dinky was slightly larger than her mother. What's wrong? Asked Ditsy quietly, rubbing her daughter's back. I want to see you. She sobbed. You were so busy lately, and I wanted to be a surprise, and I saw you sweet about doing. She broke back down to a river of tears. Lance of rage pierced Stacy's soul at her daughter's announcement. She'd kill him. How dare he do this to her daughter? I'm so sorry. I'm so very, very sorry. She mumbled, holding her daughter tightly, wishing there was something she could say that could make it all right. I love him, cried Dinky. I love him so much. It hurts so bad. I know it hurts, Muffin, said Ditsy, gently rocking her daughter. But he isn't worth it. I know it doesn't seem like it, but you'll find something else. I'll be here for you. I don't want anybody else, yelled Dinky, weakly lashing out at her mother, her host gently bouncing out to Pegasus' side. Mom, what are you wrong? I'm getting keys. No, cried Ditsy angrily, clutching her daughter by her shoulders and staring into her eyes. This is not your fault. This is all him. There's nothing wrong. Never see that. Sobbing, Dinky fell forward into her mother's arms again, as Ditsy gently ran her hose through her daughter's mane. No, she couldn't let her daughter go through that sort of pain. She stopped what? Stop her daughter from falling in love? Stop her daughter from being happy? Just because she might be sad later? She was going to be sad later, then she should at least be happy now. Ditsy sighed. She was just being silly now. Dinky was only a foal, and Pip seemed like a nice enough colt. What would come in the future, come in the future. She'd be there for her daughter if she needed her. If. You alright? Asked Shirley. You seem a bit down. I'm fine. It's just that Dinky's birthday gets me a little blue. She seems so grown up sometimes, but I just want her to be my little filly again, so I can protect her from everything. I know it's silly, but I don't want her to change. You're not being silly, said Shirley, giving Ditsy a hug. My first class graduated this summer, and, well, I sort of missed them. Her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. But I did my best for them. I've got to let them move on, grow up by themselves. It'll happen to all foals, eventually. She sighed, glanced at the dance floor, where Pinky was now setting up party games. She hung a huge poniata from the ceiling, and past Dinky, almost coming along to a large pad bat that the filly struggled to hold. Yeah, mumbled Raindrops. Snails is growing up too. Sometimes I miss when he was a little foal. Sometimes I think she doesn't really need me anymore, said Ditsy. She's so good with her magic. She can make her own breakfast, go to and from school without me. She's got so many friends. Why does she need me? Oh, come on, said Trixie. You're her mother. She's always going to need you. She'll miss you when you're not there. Oh, I don't know. Am I being too clingy? Or am I forcing her to grow up too fast? I was always better at this. Better? Exclaimed Raindrops. You're the second best mother I know. Dinky loves you and you love her. You need to stop worrying. She's happy and healthy. She wouldn't have a better role model than you. Oh, thought Ditsy. If only that were true. Mom, I got something to tell you, announced Dinky nervously. Ditsy looked up at her. She known something was wrong with her daughter all day. The filly, no, better now, she supposed, although she always be her filly, had been quiet all night but pacing backwards and forwards, ever so often stopping and almost saying something before laying the pacing again. It looked like she had finally worked up the nerve to see what was on her mind. I'm going to tell you something, and it's sort of good, it's sort of bad, but I need you to stay calm and listen to me. Ditsy nodded. This didn't sound good, but she trusted her daughter. Okay, tell me what's on your mind. You know I've been hanging out with my friends in the evening for a few last months? Well, I haven't. Not all the time. I've been... She closed her eyes for a moment. I mean Mr. Silver. Mr. Silver? Sterling Silver? Thought Ditsy. What does he mean with... Oh no, not like this. Not like mother, like daughter. He was fun and kind, and I think I made me a little pregnant. I went to talk to him about the foal and Wandering Star was there, and he doesn't want anything to do with me. Dinky blinked away the moisture from her eyes. Things are gonna be alright, right? You're okay with me, right? She begged. No, Dinky was smart. So much smarter than she'd been, thought Ditsy. She was never going to make the same mistakes she had. She wasn't being fair on her daughter, thinking of all the bad things that could happen. She was just being greedy. She let her daughter grow by herself. Had to let her go and live her own life. No matter how hard it was, she had to learn to step away. How did she learn that when Dinky had a chance to go to Harshwinny's? Trying to put aside her worries, Ditsy turned to Carrot Top. Are you all packed for the trip tomorrow? She asked. Yes, I've asked a few of the union farmers to keep an eye on my land. The last crop is in for the year, so there's not much to do now. Thanks for inviting me along. I've been meaning to visit home for ages. I finally got the free time. Uh-oh. Carrot, speaking of visiting home, listen, due to a recent show I've been watching, just to make sure, the reason why you haven't been home isn't because your family got taken over by vampires and your little sister is right now under control, right? Right? That's okay. It'll be nice to... Mama! Came a sudden shriek from across the room. Dinky, before she was even consciously aware of what was happening, Ditsy was in the air and halfway to the sound, her blood almost frozen. Dearly Dinky, bawling her eyes out, clutching her head. Quick as he could, Ditsy grabbed her child with 4 legs and drew her in a hug, most requiring assurances. I'm sorry! I'm sorry! Cried Sleepbell, looking almost as upset as Dinky, with tears running from her eyes. I was trying to hit the Ponyata! I was! My aura slipped and I hit Dinky on the horn! I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do it! She sobbed, ignoring the white unicorn for a moment, her heart beating a mile a minute. Ditsy examined her own child. She was still crying softly as she her face buried in her mother's mane. Ditsy peeled back her daughter's hair as gently as he could and carefully examined her horn. She almost collapsed from relief. She feared to see blood or the organ almost hanging off. But there was no sign of any damage. No crack or chip could be seen. All the flesh around the base was a little swollen. Near, she said soothingly as her daughter's sobs finally subsided. I don't think there's anything wrong. You just got a bit of a bump. Finally, Dinky rested her head, her tears slowly to a trickle. Is it better? She asked with a sniff. With a smile, Ditsy leaned forward, planted gently on her daughter's forehead. Always, she said. I'm really sorry, said Dinky. You mean to. It's okay, hiccupped Dinky, her granddaughter mother slowly weakening. It's an accident. Can I look? Asked Lyra, stepping out of the crowd of onlookers. Dinky shook her head and a tighter grip around her mother. It hurts, she said. I might be able to make it better, said the bard gently. Dinky shook her head again. You can trust her, Muffin. She'll help you, said Dinky gently, trying to peel her daughter off her leg while keeping a wing draped over her. Slowly, Dinky began to relax and removed her grip from her mother. Does any pony have any ice? Asked Lyra. Yeah, exclaimed Pinky, holding a pack of ice. For ice emergencies, she explained. Dinky, can you try to lift the bag with your magic? Dinky nodded and horn flicking irremittingly. She whined. Just try for a little bit, said Lyra encouragingly. I know you can do it, Muffin, said Ditsy. Dinky screwed up her face, and the bag hovering in front of her seconds. That's enough, said Lyra. That's very good, Dinky. I don't think there's any real harm done. There might be a bit of swelling. Your magic might be a little off for a few days. But the ice should help with the worst of it. Horns are tough things. I got worse bumps when I was a foal. She lifted the bag to the filly's forehead. Said Dinky, hugging her mother again. I'm sorry, said Sleepbell again. She's being held in her own mother's forearms right now. Accidents happen, said Ditsy, feeling sorry for the upset filly as he carried her daughter away to the quiet side of the room. As he left, the crowd of onlookers started to disperse. Ditsy watched as the foals returned to their games. Dinky remained quietly attached to her mother's leg, draped to her wing. Oh! This almost feels nice, thought Dinky, being able to look after my daughter for a bit. Ditsy cut herself off. She should never feel good that her daughter had been hurt, even if it was only a little bump. She looked down at her daughter, cuddling in her arms. She knew from past experience that the foal could sometimes get a little clingy after she had a shock like this. It'll be right as rain after a night's sleep. She noticed that her daughter's eyes kept flicking over to the crowd of foals, now playing pin on the tail on the pony. Dinky loved that game, yet seemed content to stay with her mother for the moment. It'd be nice to just have the two of them. No, she might want to. But it wasn't best for her daughter. When it came to her needs and her daughter's, well, there was no competition ever. Dinky, said Ditsy, regret. She took the ice pack off her daughter's head. Would you like to play with your friends for a bit? The foal clutched her mother tighter and shook her head. You sure? Because it looks like you're having a really good time over there. Dinky looked over at the game again. I'm going to stay with you, Mama. If you're sure, because you can spend all the time you want with me. But you only get one Sierra. I won't want you to miss anything. Well, Dinky loosened her grip a bit. Maybe I can go once to play. You just come with me? Sure, Muffin, said Ditsy with a smile, leading her daughter over to the other foals. They watched a snail staggering about with a sticky tail at his hoof, almost attaching it to a Lula, who carried away giggling, before it ended up sticking to a wall several foals length away from its target. Would you like to go, Dinky? Asked Sleepbell, trying over nervously her ear slower, holding out another tail. The little filly looked back and forth between her mother and friends. "Why don't you have a go?" suggested Ditsy. "I'll be right here." said Dinky, slowly detaching herself from her mother and taking the tail for Sweetie, before allowing the unicorn to gently tie a blindfold around her head and spin her around. She staggered off towards the wall, posted her pointing on it. Ditsy watched as their daughter quickly forgot her own earlier ally. Dinky was happy, and that was what mattered. As a mother, it was her responsibility to make sure she was there for her daughter when she needed her, and to step away when she didn't. Maybe she would even have a little more time to herself now.
"Looks like they're having fun,"
came a deep voice next to Ditsy. "Yes," she agreed, turning to Big Mac.
"I can't believe how quickly time's passed. Seems like just yesterday Apple Bloom was born. Now look at her."
He gestured at the herd of purring foals.
"Yeah, but you can't turn back time, can you?"
"Nope, don't suppose you can."
"You just have to wait to see what the future unholds."
It wasn't too long before even the most powered of foals began to run down. Slowly, one by one, the Tucker-out children were taken away by their parents, and the party began to wind down. Ditsy offered to help tidy up once she had gotten Dinky to bed, but the Cakes and her friends would have none of that. She was unsure how to get the pile of Dinky's presents home, but Big Mac volunteered his services rather impressively and lifted the whole pile onto his back, along with the now snoozing form of his sister. The two adults tried back towards the post office.
"Mama?"
asked Dinky from her mother's back.
"Fly home, please." "I don't know, Muffin. Don't want to leave Mr. McIntosh behind."
"Well, don't worry none about me. I think the birthday filly deserves a last treat. I could drop these all over your place when I get there,"
said Big Macintosh.
"Please, Mama,"
begged Dinky.
"Oh, very well,"
said Ditsy, stretching her wings. To be honest, she wasn't sure how much longer she would be able to fly with her daughter at the rate she was growing. A little stab of regret struck her heart. Maybe she would have done it more often while she could. Breathing deeply, Ditsy began to gallop forward, flapping her wings. For a moment, she didn't think she'd make it, but there her hose left the ground and she slipped into the sky, her daughter clinging to her while whooping with delight. Ditsy couldn't help but grin. Luckily, the flight was only a short one. It Ditsy sit down in her house only a few minutes later. Her wings were already aching.
"There you are, Muffin. I'll home again." "Thanks, Mama,"
said Dinky, hugging her mother. Ditsy checked the clock. It was still quite early, but they had a long day ahead of them tomorrow, and more excitement in the way.
"I think it's bedtime for you."
"Mama," said Dinky, trotting a little steadily towards the bathroom.
"Do you need any help?"
asked Ditsy.
"I can do it all by myself. I'm a big filly now."
Yes, she probably could, thought Ditsy. She was a very mature filly. She felt a little pride. Her daughter was exactly where she needed to be. Whatever the future might hold, she was her daughter would be ready for it. It didn't take long for Dinky to get herself ready for bed, and for her mother to tuck her in. Ditsy thought about reading a chapter from her daughter's new books, but the filly's eyelids were already drooping.
"Good night, Muffin,"
whispered Ditsy, as she covered the taller cold rooms by her daughter's bed. Dinky might be growing up, but she still needed her mother sometimes. She knew their bond remained strong, no matter how far apart they were. Okay, song request time. Could somebody play Rod Stewart's Forever Young? I'm gonna need it.
"No," said Dinky anxiously.
No, answered Ditsy, confused.
"No, you shouldn't have to understand. You shouldn't have to live out here by yourself. I'm not going to take no for an answer at this time, Mom. Come with us. The kids would love to see you all the time."
"I don't want to be a bother," said Ditsy, looking down.
"You're not bothered, Mom,"
said Dinky fiercely, holding the Pegasus tightly.
"You're my mother, and I love you. You'll always be a part of my life,
no matter how different they may seem."
"I'd love to,"
said Dinky, trying towards Rumble.
"I'm hanging out with Mom today. She's terminally uncool, but she's my mom, and you know what that's like."
"Sure," agreed Rumble. "See you tomorrow."
"King,"
agreed Dinky, so the Pegasus fly off.
"You could have gone with your friend, Muffin. I wouldn't mind." "I can hang with my friends anytime, Mom. And you're special."
She glanced around to see if anyone was looking and gave her mother a nuzzle.
You mentioned ice cream? Can we at least get a cool flavor?
No matter how things might change.
Aw, don't worry, Mom.
Said the Pierce pony.
I'm still the same pony inside, you know.
She said, leaned forward with a faint jiggling. Despite the rings that dug at her sides, Ditsy knew it was true, and hugged her beautiful, unique daughter back. No matter the pain.
Thanks, Mama,
Cried Dinky as her sobbed silently.
I don't know what I'd do without you.
You do fine by yourself, Muffin.
But you don't have to try. I'll always be here, through thick and thin, the good times and the bad. I'm your mother, and I'll always be here for you.
No matter what happened. Ditsy stood there frozen for a moment, then rushed forward to brace her quivering daughter.
Everything's gonna be alright, she promised. That foal will be surrounded by love, regardless of what the fire does. Look how well you turned out. Thanks, Mom,
said Dinky, crawling her mother tight.
Love you, Mama,
muttered the drowsy foal, rubbing her forelegs around her mother's neck.
I love you too, my filly,
replied Ditsy, giving her daughter a kiss on the forehead.
My little mare.
Okay. I think I'll go cry here. I'll be right back. I need somebody to take over the review. Trixie!
Dad must have a lip. Story was great. Probably one of the best episodes of the second season. There. Trixie did a review. See how you're happy.
Okay, I'm back. I just had to give my little brother a big hug. It's tough when you're the big brother and your little brother is a gold dragon and you just want to give him a gump. Yeah, my little brother's a dragon. I keep telling you guys. My mom was a pony. My dad's a dragon. Which means I'm a half dragon. I'm a Karen, too. I'm just more Pegasus than dragon. You want to see a full-blooded dragon, you should see my little brother. This fic, it was really good. Makes me think of that episode with Rarity and Sweetie Belle. And yeah, it's tough watching a loved one go up so fast. Especially when it comes to a little brother or a little child. You find yourself wishing you could go back and have just one more time to do something you love. Or go back and do as much as you can, only to find out it's lost forever. And it hurts a lot. That's why I like the episode. It's why I like this episode. Well, I think what hits me in the gut the most is how it shows the different endings to Ditsy's nightmares. Showing that no matter how things change, she will still have love. And that's the most important. Even throughout all the changes, if you're really close with your family, you'll still be there for each other. I'm getting too sappy. Trix,
yeah?
Fox Mangana is about to come to an end for his first season, right?
Yes.
Let's do some D&D. Next time, the adventure begins. They were always beside you. Your nerdy best friends, and a DM to guide you. It's your turn to roll.